Thank you for joining this session on farming fresh grains for your dreams, vegetable farming at the Business of Agriculture Masterclass Cluster 3. My name is Peter Oluwatoki Pupola. I work with the Agricultural and Rural Management Training Institute, AMTI, in Nigeria. For the purpose of those just joining us now, it is interesting to note that the masterclass started this morning at 9 a.m., followed by an opening ceremony, which featured in a representative of the Honorable Minister of Agriculture and Food Security and other dignitaries. And the opening ceremony was immediately followed by some technical sessions, 2 technical sessions, anchored by Farmer Kola Adeniji, founder of a Niji Group of Companies, and Ms. Adiza Yaro, country manager, East West Seed, Nigeria. I'd like to find out, do we have participants that attended those 2 technical sessions today? Can you please indicate on the chat box so that we acknowledge you? Do we have participants that attended the technical sessions that we had today? Okay, I can see Ahmed Akindele, I can see Michael Udo, I can see Modupe Ori Tade. Great. For the purpose of those just joining us for the first time, if you missed the first session had 2 technical speakers. Like I said earlier on, Farmer Kola Deniji and Ms. Adiza Yaro. If you miss those 2 sessions, you could kindly check the replays on the PSAG Nigeria YouTube channel and Facebook page. You can also subscribe to the YouTube channel and like the Facebook page. This will enable you get notification for subsequent sessions. Okay, we will be exploring 8 value chains for the purpose of the Business of Agriculture Masterclass. We have 8 value chains, which we are starting with the first one today. But to quickly give a brief of the business of agriculture. This edition of the Masterclass is being implemented by the New Nigeria Foundation, which is a non-profit organization that promotes sustainable community development through public-private partner initiative. It is also important to know that the business of Masterclass is a cluster 3, which is the 3rd edition of the annual e-learning Masterclass series designed by the United Nations Private Sector Advisory Group, PSAG, Nigeria Cluster 5. The aim of this Masterclass is to disseminate agribusiness opportunities through seasoned professionals and agribusiness industry experts for us to be able to build capacity in our youth that are hoping to develop an employment opportunity in the business of agriculture. And for so many of us that are also looking towards having multiple streams of income. Yeah, it is important to address some housekeeping matters. Like I said earlier, the masterclass is being hosted on Zoom and live stream on the YouTube channel and Facebook pages of PSAG Nigeria. So for participants joining on Zoom webinar, there are features for interaction. We have the chat box. We have the chat box that will allow us to quickly introduce ourselves, make contributions, express your feelings, and then possibly give us a top-up give us some emojis through the chat box. But for sessions for questions, we have because it's going to be interactive as much as possible, there will be question and answer sessions. We have a question and answer chat box. We will encourage that we take advantage of the question and answer chat box to bring in our questions. Don't send questions to the chat box where we could have your comments, your expectations, or opinion about this program. The chat box is basically to receive comments, expectations for this session from participants, whereas the question and answer section is for us to extract questions from participants, and we'll be attending to them as much as possible as time permits. So we request that as much as possible, let us make use of the question and answer sessions to bring in our questions. Should there be an opportunity to speak during the question and answer session, participants are free to raise their hand from the platform. That is for participants on the Zoom. I understand we have some other participants on the YouTube, and Facebook handles. You can use the comment section to drop your comments, contributions, and ask questions. But for the participants on Zoom, you have the question and answer section. You hand to make some comments, remarks while the session is on. But for participants on the YouTube and Facebook handles, you can make use of your comments sections to bring in your comment, contributions, and ask questions. We will pick your questions from there. You can also use emojis from time to time to give your reactions, give your impressions about the presentations for today. It is also important for us to note that the YouTube and Facebook handles are open platforms. Therefore, we encourage that participants should be discreet about sharing our personal contacts and informations, as the sponsors and anchors of this program may not be liable for the event of participants sharing personal information that may be on the negative side. Again, for participants on YouTube and Facebook, a link for attendance will be shared in the comment section. I want to believe by now the link will be ongoing, so that we want to recognize very specially. But for participants on the Zoom platform, you will also have the link for attendance on the chat box, not the question and answer. There will be a link on the chat box where we also receive in your attendance, so that we can recognize you very specially. And again, there could be occasion for subsequent engagement. There could be some questions because of time we may not be able to attend to on the spot. It is expected that the organizers will reach out to all the participants adequately. Polls for expectation of participants should be on now. We want to find out their participants. Like I said earlier on, we are looking at farming fresh greens for your dreams. A good number of us have certain things in mind for joining this session, the business of vegetable farming. So what are our expectations for this session? It is good to quickly extract our expectations. What do you expect to get from this session, so that we kindly look at that. We have a link that is going on currently now for participants on the Zoom link, on the Zoom platform, which is on the chat box. And we also have a link that is currently going on for participants on the YouTube and Facebook handles. Kindly fill those questions very quickly. Fill those questions very quickly. we don't want to take your participation for granted. We have over 4,400 participants that registered for the Business of Masterclass Cluster 3 for this week. And it is important to extract your expectations so that we know how to attend to you adequately. We'd like to get your feedbacks. Okay. So for here, I'm seeing Mohammed Karujin. Okay. From the Kano State. Thank you for this program. Okay. Okay. We trying to look at expectations of participants. In the chat box. Okay. Larry, your money, exploring opportunities in the export markets. Okay. Vegetable farming, opportunities along the agricultural value chain, vegetable agricultural value chain. Okay. I do plant little spinach and amaranthus on my balcony, and water leaves show up from nowhere. Okay. To explore opportunities in the vegetable value chain, to learn details in hydroponics. Okay. Okay. I'm a vegetarian. Okay. 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 Just I want to also get feedbacks from our participants on the YouTube and Facebook handles. We want to get feedback from you. Okay. I'm highly interested in vegetable farming from Kaduna. Okay. Olubenga Kinola. Okay. 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 Great. So that's wasting so much of our time. I like to say we can wrap up the post for now. Yes. Basically, expectations of participants are towards opportunities in the vegetable value chain. Where can people fit in the vegetable value chain? Yes. A good number of our youth want to pick up employment in a vegetable agribusiness. Okay. Yes. So wasting time, we want to introduce our panelists. For this session. We have two seasoned professionals and industry experts that will be interacting with us today. The first on the call is Farmer Samson Ogbole. Okay. And the next person on the call is the next Farmer Lawrence. Okay. Mayo Waikundayo, Farmer Lawrence. So I take the profile of them in that order. I start with Farmer Samson Ogbole. Farmer Samson Ogbole is the team lead for Ipsodia Place Limited Soil Farm Lab, where technology is used as an enabler for agriculture. The Soilless Farm Lab grows plants without the use of soil, interesting, but with the use of machine learning and artificial intelligence-based irrigation system for optimum yield and predictability of food production. To Farmer Samson, agriculture is more than just food production, zero hunger. It is the foundation for sustainable development, job creation, no poverty, healthy living, as well as national development. Farmer Samson believes agriculture must adopt the business mindset, technology, automation, precision, data, and climate smart. To this end, he has devoted his time and resources to building modern farms, exploring the latest technologies for agriculture, sharing and training others to adopt the modern agriculture, to ensure together we can use agriculture as a tool to build the nation we so desire. He believes food production should not be seasonal because hunger is not seasonal. Okay. Next. Farmer Samson has a bachelor degree in biochemistry, as well as a master's degree in biochemistry from Ibadan Commonwealth of Nations, National Open University of Nigeria, having a PhD in VIEW. Biochemistry, PhD in VIEW, Federal University of Agriculture, Abeokuta. Again, other certificates include biotechnology from Federal University of Agriculture, Abeokuta, Introduction to Food and Nutrition from Stanford University, Introduction to Population Health from the University of Manchester, Greening the Economy from Lund University, Sweden, Sustainable Agriculture for year 2050 from Wageningen Agroecology and Sustainable Agriculture from the University of Western Australia, certification, and Public Health from University of Albany. Farmer Samson's creativity and entrepreneurial drive has had him featured on CNN, African Voices, BBC Yoruba, Reuters, TV, DW channels, TV, and many others. So we also take the profile of Farmer Lawrence. Mayowa Kundayo, that is the second speaker for today, for this section, is a dynamic individual with diverse educational background and a strong commitment to agriculture and rural development. He holds a degree in economics from the University of Ado-Ekiti, demonstrating his foundation in economic principles. Mayowa's global perspective on agriculture was further enriched through specialized training. He completed short courses on fisheries and poultry at Mijo University in Thailand, gaining valuable insight into the agricultural practices of another culture. He also expanded his knowledge by participating in a short course on food system transformation at Wageningen University in the Netherlands. Next slide. Currently, Mayowa is pursuing an MSc degree in agribusiness at the Rome Business School, where he had previously completed a course on business leadership development, showcasing his dedication to personal and professional growth. Beyond academia, Mayowa is the co-founder and COO at Post-Harvest Solutions Limited, showcasing his entrepreneurial spirit and expertise. He is also the visionary founder of the Raise a Farmer Initiative, a platform aimed at empowering and uplifting rural communities through agriculture. Additionally, he serves as the convener of the Speak Agriculture for the Future Economy SAFE Summit, an annual event that brings together agribusiness development experts from around the world to engage in discussions about the future of agriculture. Mayowa Kundayo is not only a knowledgeable professional, but also a skilled salesman. His passion for agriculture and rural development, coupled with his dedication to youth empowerment, makes him a driving force in the agricultural sector and a catalyst for positive change in communities worldwide. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, we are honored to have these two industry experts in our midst today. And interestingly, the two of them are practicing farmers, which will be sharing with us their wealth of experience. Farmer Samson will be looking at opportunities in the soilless agriculture for vegetable production, while Farmer Lawrence will be looking at opportunities for vegetable production for soil farming. We are going to start with Farmer Samson Ogbole, we would not take your contribution for granted. We are pleased to have Farmer Samson Ogbole with us this afternoon. Ladies and gentlemen, can we please give them some thumbs up with our emojis on the chat box, on our comment sections? Can we please encourage Farmer Samson Ogbole as he step into the scene? Oh, great. And again, it's good to also bring on board the second panelist, that is Farmer Lawrence. Farmer Lawrence is a seasoned industry expert on soil, vegetable farming. It is good to also encourage Farmer Lawrence as he comes in to the stage to share with us his wealth of experience. Oh, beautiful. This is great. We have a good number of our youths. Good. This is great. This is great. This is great. Fantastic. So we start with Farmer Samson Ogbole. Farmer Samson Ogbole, we are aware that currently in Nigeria we have a population of over 270 million Nigerians, of which from this population, the statistics of MBS show that 53% of this population are youth. In the same vein, MBS statistics also show that 70% of this population, that is in the tune on the average of 151 million Nigerians, are youth. And it is also pertinent to note that many of our participants on the Zoom platform, on the Facebook handles, on the YouTube handles, many of our participants, to be specific, about 70% of our participants hoping to listen to you today are also youth. And we'd like to hear from you today. How did your journey started in the business of soil farming? What are the prospects? What are the opportunities? What are the challenges? What are the success stories? It is an opportunity for a good number of Nigerian youths to begin to have a change of mindset, learning from Farmer Samson Ogbole, who is also a youth in the business of soil farming. Over to you, Farmer Samson Ogbole.
All right, thank you very much. Good afternoon, sir, and good afternoon, everyone. Thank you. How did I get into soil farming, or how did I even get into agriculture? Because I'm sure a few of us would have wondered during the profile reading that I actually have my BSc in biochemistry. So like I always say to people, I think I would say I am one of those that stumbled into agriculture because I had no idea that I was going to end up becoming a farmer. My agricultural journey started during my NYSC. I was fortunate to be posted to IITA, that is International Institute of Tropical Agriculture in Ibadan, your state. And I was in a project called Yam Improvement for Income and Food Security in West Africa. That is YIFSWA. And that was my first interaction professionally with agriculture. Now, the reason I use the word professionally is because, I mean, I grew up with my grandparents. I knew what farming was about. And for me, it was that tedious, routine job that you do as a punishment or something, not something you do for fun. So, 2012 during my youth service, and I remember watching my then team lead, Dr. Nobe Maria, work. I was intrigued and interested to see that, okay, this is a farmer is making a difference, and he has a I wanted to have that opportunity. And I realized that working with Dr. Maria, I had a unique perspective that was not available to him because he was a doctor, a PhD holder in agric. But what I knew in biochemistry was still something he needed in agric. And suddenly I realized, oh, this could be my leeway into agriculture where I still have a space, I have a niche where I can be celebrated for what I know as opposed to being in the biochemistry realm where everybody knows what I know because I mean, that's biochemistry. And that was the beginning for me. And the more I stayed around agriculture, the more I got to understand the problems the farmers were having. And for me, I saw technology as the gap I could use, or I saw technology as the way to close the gap I had seen because I realized, oh, yeah, back then in IITA, we were pushing aeroponics to grow yam in the air. The technology was awesome. The adoption was not that good. And with that, I suddenly realized there was a role I could play. There was a space I could fill where I was certain to make income, not just for myself, but generational income. By that, I mean income I could leave as inheritance for my kids and all of that. So, with that, I figured Greek was the way to go, technology was the weapon, local content was the proper way to drop the weapon for it to be accepted. So, yeah, that is my way into Greek. What were some of the obstacles I encountered? Now, because I was into aeroponics, I was growing plants in the air, the first major obstacle I had to overcome was from the very cultural and religious folks who believed that what I was doing was not normal, was not natural, was sorcery. Hence, you probably noticed that my name at times online, even when CNN covered my story, it was the wizard farmer, because for a lot of people, what I was doing was not the norm. And after I was able to overcome that hurdle by telling people, okay, this is what soilless farming is, this is why it is still not, is this or not? And that for me was a very comfortable zone to discuss because again, it's difficult to answer that, to explain, to say, oh, this is what health means. This is what soillage does. This is what soil means. This is how you know if this is healthy or not. So it was an open textbook. It wasn't something that was hidden that people could not understand. And moving on from there, the next question became, is this profitable? At that point, I was now at the space where I needed to show that this is not just technology for Instagram pictures or for photo ops, but much more than that, it was something that was economically 8 to 10 years. We've taken time to understand what is the profitability in this thing because at the end of the day, customers are not going to the market trying to buy hydroponics tomatoes. They are just going to the market to buy tomatoes. So it's our job to ensure that it is competitive and preferable based on taste, shelf life, quality, firmness, and all of that. What were some of the challenges when I started? I think first was information. Because I was one of the first pioneers in the country, there was nobody to run to say, oh, I'm having these issues. How do I figure this out? What do I do? That was one. Number two was because people did not understand it, people did not easily accept it. So that was a whole big barrier. And financing it was an issue. And because money was not readily available, we had to think through how to ensure that the system can be localized. For example, we have a farm we built for somebody in Dubai. That is a farm that uses 24 hours electricity, but our farm, which is one of the places I am right now on the farm, we are able to run a greenhouse that does not depend on electricity. Why? Because of the fact that there was no money, we were able the world to think, how can we overcome things that cost money such that the cost of running the farm can be affordable? So yeah, I think that is a summary of my journey and where we are. Thank you very much.
Mr. Peter, please unmute your mic. Thank you, sir.
Okay, excellent presentation from Farmer Samson Ogbole. It is interesting to note that you developed this passion for agriculture right from your youth service here, calling the word agriculture was the way, as at that time, was the way to go. We are happy to know again that it's still the way to go in Nigeria. Farmer Samson Ogbole, do I understand you have a short video, not less than 2-3 minutes, that we can project, because a good number of our audience lost you while you were making presentation. Do you still have the video, or will bring on board Farmer Mayowa Lawrence? Farmer Samson, do you still have the video? Okay, while we are waiting for the video shots from Farmer Samson, I'd like to bring on board Farmer Mayowa Lawrence. Farmer Mayowa Lawrence, it is often said that in the agribusiness industry, vegetable farming is a money spinner. Money spinner in the sense that it is a quick return on investment that a good number of Nigerians can venture into. We'd like to share from your wealth of experience this afternoon, talking to Nigerians and inside and outside the country, confirming the fact that vegetable farming is a money spinner. How did the journey started? Over to you, Farmer Lawrence.
Okay, I think I'll take the last question and then I'll go to the first question you asked. How did the journey start? And is vegetable farming actually a money spinner? So how did I get into this space? In 2018, I was in a conversation with some young men, and there was a heavy conversation on what the challenges were in the agri space. And I felt that I have a place in the sector because they kept repeating market linkage, post-harvest losses, market linkage, post-harvest losses. At that time, I already had a business that was heavily involved in providing sales, marketing, and distribution solutions to agro-processing companies. It means that this company is already heavily involved with agriculture, and they were processing those agricultural produces into further products. And I just was there. I was already providing a solution for them. So I felt in 2018 that I could come into the space and extend that solutions to smallholder farmers, since as at that time, it was said that over 60% of farm produce were being lost. And I think the value as at that time was said to be over $50 billion worth of fresh produce being lost due to post-harvest solutions. And I felt, oh, dude, you have the expertise, you have the capacity to come in and be the Superman and rescue, even if you're not rescuing farmers on the global stage or pan-Nigeria, you could do that for Southwest Nigeria. And then I came on board. I wanted to jump to the farm and started off-taking, but I realized that the problems were deeper than they were being discussed in the meeting that I attended. So in 2018, I decided I was going to play. Unfortunately for me, and I'm intentional about using the word unfortunately, because unlike Samson, I didn't go through a proper mentoring session. I just assumed the challenges. I assumed that I had solutions and I jumped in quit my job in 2019 to focus on agriculture fully. It didn't take up to 6 months for me to exhaust the ones I have saved to be in the agricultural space and be the Superman in the agricultural space. So by early 2020, I had lost, in context, over 3.6 million naira. Over 4 point something million naira actually. I'd lost it in just about 1 year of playing in the sector. And first, I didn't jump into the vegetable value chain. Initially, I was heavy on cassava. I was on crop. I was on plantain at one time. And because I had lost a whole lot of money, the option for me was, do you want to go back to your paid job, or do you want to stay here and fight the battles through till you make it? And the only option for me to stay there and fight the battles through till I make it. Samson also, I didn't have the understanding of hydroponics. I was just focused on the one that I had exposure to, which was, still at this time, open field. And I had an understanding also at that time that land was not a problem, even though over time I have now also discovered that the plethora of land available to us also does not mean accessibility. So at that time, I had an understanding that we have only in Africa used we're actively using just 10% of the land that is that God has blessed us with, currently using at that time. And we had only barely used, scatteredly, about 30 to 40% of the land that was available to us. So for me at that time, land wasn't an issue. And because with vegetable farming, you don't, especially if you also understand global best practices, you don't need so much land. You don't need 10.
Hello, Farmer Mayowa. The audio is weak.
Can you hear me now?
Okay, yes, okay.
Okay,
Yes.
great. It's better now,
The
right?
audio is weak, yeah.
Okay, is it better now?
From my hand is better, but a good number of our audience are sending a communication to us that they can't hear you.
Okay, is it better now?
Okay, go on, sir. Go on, sir.
I'm just going to go on. So, in short, that's been my journey. I've cut out some stories out of it, so that I can meet up with time. So, is vegetable farming a money spinner? Well, yes, but there is a plot to it. You must understand the value chain and understand also that vegetable farming does not start from the farm; it starts at the marketplace. So it means that there must be a demand for whatever vegetable you are going to produce. If you're in this for business, if you're in this for household consumption, you just want to have access to.
We have an issue with your audio, sir.
Okay, let me do this.
Okay, it's better now.
Is this better? Can everyone
It's
confirm?
better. Yes, we can hear you now. It's better.
Okay, great, amazing. Thank you. So, I talked about my journey into the space. I saw a problem. I thought I could handle it. I came in. I realized that the problem was bigger. I lost a lot of money. I was in cassava. I was in maize. I was in plantain. But I realized that, I was losing money. I didn't have so much understanding. And the scope of business within the agricultural value chain is very, very different from other businesses that I had involved in. And I had quit my job in 2019 to play in the agricultural space. So I was caught in between, do you want to go back to your paid job? Or you want to just, like Yorubas will say, foriti, push on till you get to a point where you will make it. So that decision I made in 2019, and I said I was never going back to a paid job, and I would be here till I make a landmark
for myself. Unfortunately for me, I need to mention this, that Samson Ogbole is one of the few persons that actually held my hand. Because I remember in 2020, jumping into vegetable farming, Samson was that person that I kept calling from time to time. One of those persons that I kept calling from time to time to say, if I go into this production, what yield will I get? What are the guides that you have? And it was always helpful. Him and some other folk. I was lucky. And I think I was really lucky to have people like Samson and other folks who were there to guide me along the business of vegetable farming. And why so in answering the question, is vegetable farming a money spinner? Yes, but there is a clause. You must understand the business of it. So farming a vegetable of your dream is not about farming the vegetable that you love. It must be about farming the vegetable that there is a need for, right? So you must understand what gap exists in the marketplace where you are. So it's not also about where you are not. So if you're in northern Nigeria, if you're not in Nigeria, and there is a need for a certain vegetable in a place that is beyond your geographical location, can you handle the logistics to get there? Right. So in farming the vegetable of your desire, it is about farming the vegetable that there is a need for, and you can manage the process from production to market linkage to the point where it is needed. So in answering, if I'm going to answer the second question, is vegetable farming a money spinner? Yes, if you understand gap, if you understand the business of it. Thank you very much.
Oh, beautiful. Thank you, Farmer Mayowa Lawrence. It's been wonderful listening to you. I want to say we are humbled to know that you never had a mentor. You took the boldness to quit the job and to face agriculture as a business. We're happy to see you on top of the career of agricultural value chain. And we have a good number of our youth on this platform. We have questions, so many questions. Participants can start rolling in their questions now. But we have few ones that have been sent earlier on. Few ones that have been sent earlier on. Before I take that, I want to find out, Farmer Samson Ogbole, in 2-3 minutes, do you still have the video? In 2-3 minutes, do you still have the video? Okay.
No, it's not a video. I'm just on part of the farm. Just for people to see how the farm looks like. It's not like a video. I'm on the farm.
Okay.
That's why my network is not so clear. So it's just for people to look at my background and see how the farm looks like while I'm in the farm talking.
Okay. Can we still feature it here now? Because of the network, do we suspend?
Yes, my video is on. You can see my video right now.
Okay.
My video is on, so it's just to look at my background. I'm on the farm. I'm not in an office. This is a farm.
You will need to share.
My video is on. I'm in the farm right now.
You will need to share the screen so that we can see you. We can't see you.
I don't know if we can see it, but where I am right now is a farm, not an office.
Okay. I want to.
Let me raise it high a bit. So I'm in the farm right now. I'm working on the farm. I'm not inside an office.
Okay. I like to cancel. We just go on with the questions. We have some questions for you at the moment. The first question that is coming in now. The first question that is coming in now says, what crops can do well in hydroponics? What crops can do well in hydroponics? Is it only vegetables? And what type of vegetables can do well?
Okay, thank you very much. So the answer to that is every crop can be grown without soil. Every crop can be grown without soil, but not every crop is economical to grow without soil. Remember, I said during my discussion that understand that hydroponics is just a technology. It's just like saying I have a car. A car is for mobility. That does not mean I should drive a car to London. I should drive a car to China. No, there is another form of transport for that. Or I should drive a car into my bedroom. No, there is another form of transport for that. So hydroponics has plants that it gives you a competitive advantage for, which is what Farmer Lawrence was trying to explain. It's about the market. It's not about the technology. So what
Okay.
crop do I want to grow?
Okay.
What
Okay.
crop is the market looking for? And
Yeah.
what technology gives me the advantage? So I can use hydroponics for veggies, for cereals, for flowers. Earlier, I even talked about, remember when I started, I said I was using it for yam. I started with growing yam in the air. So it's about understanding the crop, the market, and what technology gives me an advantage.
Okay. Thank you,
That's the
Farmer
most
Samson.
important thing.
Thank you. All crops can do well in
Thank you.
hydroponics, but not all crops have economic advantage. Thank you. The next question is also for you. I am into ugu farming and sales of seeds. Can it thrive in hydroponics? I guess you have answered this question from what you just said now. So dear participant, we can begin to type in our question using the question and answer chats box. And for our participants on the YouTube and Facebook handles, we can take advantage of the comment section to begin to roll in our questions. I have one here. What were the challenges faced in those plants ventured into? We'll not be able to say, are we looking, okay? In 1 minute, Farmer Samson, what are the challenges with hydroponics?
Yeah, the first and biggest challenge with hydroponics is knowledge, because if you don't understand it, the technology will mess you up. The technology is not a solution, it's just an enabler. So first, you must understand the technology. Two, you must understand the problem. Those are the biggest challenges, because I have seen people do hydroponics and fail, because it's just like saying I have a calculator. The calculator does not mean I will get my math answers correct, because it's what I impute into the calculator would give back. So you need to have the knowledge. I cannot underestimate that. Understand the problem, have knowledge. Very important. Knowledge of the problem, accurate knowledge of the technology.
For Nigerians to venture in the business of hydroponics, there is need to seek deeper knowledge to make sure that their capacities are fully built. Thank you, Farmer Samson. Another question from Victor Ogaranchuku. What particular vegetable is best to do? I will move to Farmer Mayowa Lawrence. I will move to Farmer Mayowa. From your discussion, sir, we could see that you mentioned the vegetable value chains. There are a lot of opportunities in the vegetable value chains for Nigerians to venture into. But there's a question here, what particular vegetable is best to do? Or you could just identify few money springing vegetable crops that youths can venture into. Okay.
So usually I don't like to answer that kind of question, because again, like Samson rightly said, it's important to gain understanding or knowledge first. And for me, I am a more market-focused and market-driven kind of farmer, understanding what gaps exist in the market. I can tell you to grow tomatoes now. A lot of people made money in tomatoes this year. A lot of people on one production from just 3 acres, some people made as much as 15 to 20 million naira this year, one cycle. But I will be foolish to tell you that, oh, tomatoes is a money spinner right now. Go and produce tomato. An understanding of economics will let me know that when I say that, It drives more people into the farm to go and produce. And next year is going to cost the market this functionality where there will be more suppliers and less demand, thereby leading to gluts. Right, and then you're not able to make as much as the people that has made money today, right? So it's important that it's not just about the rave of the moment. It's about understanding the marketplace. Ask questions, and if you follow Samson, I mean, this is one of the things that he hits on his daily, weekly.
Thank you, Farmer Lawrence, for youth to venture into the business of vegetable agribusiness. The market should decide what does the market want. Yeah, thank you.
Exactly.
There is another question for you, sir. In setting up a vegetable farm, in 1 minute, what are the basic steps that should be considered? What are the criteria? If I want to set up a vegetable farm, what are the criteria I should consider?
First, as youths, you cannot have a farm that is not powered by irrigation. So you must have a land. There must be irrigation on the land. Secondly, you must also maybe either scientific or traditional way of doing soil testing. You must be able to test that soil, or tell that the soil has the capacity to produce the vegetables that you're looking to grow. Thirdly, markets. Okay, maybe I should have started first with markets. Market first, then understand what you want, the science behind what you want to grow. Irrigation is very important. The soil has the needed nutrient or soil composition and nutrient to be able to produce what you want to produce. And I think those are majorly the basics. And of course, read funds.
Thank you. Yes, we have so many questions here because of time. I have God's love from YouTube. What is your advice for someone? I guess this is directly to Farmer Samson. What is your advice for someone who wants to go into hydroponic farming, to be precise, tomato farming? Farmer Samson, I want to go into tomato farming. What is your advice for me from God's love? In 1 minute, sir.
Number one, understand the market.
Understand the market.
Number two, understand the disease pattern so you know the kind of seed you are buying. Number three, be sure you understand the technology so you know how to apply it well. Number four, understand the business of tomatoes, not just the production. Understand the business of tomatoes. Understand your pricing strategy. Know the market you want to actually grow for, not the market that made request. Who do you really want to grow for? And once you've made that decision, start small, fail fast, learn fast, then grow big.
Okay, thank you. We have another question for you, Farmer Samson Ogboles. The interesting hearing from you, a practicing hydroponics farmer. Folashade Osudairo has a question from you. Where can one get trained on hydroponics farming? Where?
There are a lot of opportunities. There is BIC farms in Ogun State and Lagos State. There is Gatna Kalaway in Lagos. There are lots of opportunities. We also have a quarterly training for youths aged between 18 and 29, where we train 1,000 young people for free. At the moment, we have about 1,000 young people on our farm. We provide free education. There are opportunities. There are paid and unpaid. So.
Another question for you, sir, Farmer Samson Ogbole. This is from Solomon. What is the advantage of soilless farming to soil farming?
Yeah, so number one is because our planting happens within a screened environment, what this ensures is that you are able to have reduced use of insecticides, fungicide, or every other of the agrochemicals. Number two is you are able to grow on multiple layers. You would notice when I showed the video earlier, we had plants growing on multiple layers. Number three is you can grow year round at the same cost. So you are able to keep your cost constant. Number four is reduced use of inputs like fertilizers and all. There are lots more. There are over
Thank
10
you.
advantages, but yeah,
In
those are
brief,
some.
we are able to manage our pests, we are able to manage our weeds, we are able to reduce our costs. Thank you. There is one other question from you here. Can we practice? This is from Christiana Egulewe. Can we practice Kratzy method of hydroponics without electricity? Can we practice Kratzy method of hydroponics without electricity? Okay.
Yes, Kratky method of hydroponics is supposed to work without electricity. Same with raft hydroponic system is when you are doing deep water culture, nutrient film technique, aeroponics, fogaponics, aquaponics, recirculatory aquaponics. That's when you need electricity. Kratky is meant to function without electricity.
Interesting. Interesting. Okay. Thank you. I guess this question will be directed to the two of you. Sir, please, what is the cost implication of starting hydroponics? That is one side to Farmer Samson Ogbole. Then on the other side, I am a youth. I have an average of 100 to 200,000. Can I venture into vegetable production? So Farmer Mayowa, Lawrence will take that. So Farmer Samson, cost implication for starting hydroponics.
It's your knowledge that will determine how much you spend. It's knowledge.
Knowledge will
I remember when I started with 10,000 naira because I learned how to use mop buckets to do hydroponics.
Okay.
So it's your knowledge. How knowledgeable you are determines how much you need to start. And number two, how fancy you want to be, because there is building the farm for functionality, and there is building a farm for aesthetics. So are you about functionality or photo op? Then number three is how much technology are you using? So I could build a farm that everything is controlled with machines, and I could also build an hydroponics farm where there is a need for human intervention. So the more machines I want in my farm, the more money I should be willing to spend.
Okay, thank you. Farmer Mayowa, as you prepare to answer that question of the youth with 100 to 200,000, what can they do with vegetable production? Take this question along with you here. Do you train people on best practices for vegetable production? We said this question is to the other speaker who lost money when he ventured into different crops. I guess this is talking to Farmer Mayowa. So do you train people? Is the opportunity for you to mentor people in the business of vegetable production?
Yes, we do. It's why we started the Raise a Farmer initiative, so that we can close that knowledge gap that exists in the production of vegetables. And that's the answer for that. Venue on our farm at Awo Ekiti here in Ekiti State is where I think we'll be putting out an ad for that towards next year. We should have a session again next year. Now, for what to do with 200,000, I'll say get ready to lose the 200,000 naira. However, how you lose it is make sure you lose it to your home garden vegetable production. Thank you. You're muted, sir. Mr. Peter, you're muted.
Yeah, thank you. Beautiful responses. We are glad to have Farmer Samson Ogbole and Farmer Mayowa Lawrence in our midst. We still have very few questions as we begin to tidy up. Farmer Samson Ogbole, you are where you are today because you took advantage of a mentorship program. You had a mentor who mentored you the business of hydroponics. Now, the question goes thus. Can we assess your mentorship for a startup? Can we assess your mentorship since you also passed through a process of mentoring to be where you are today? Can we assess, and what is the duration? What is the duration and cost implication?
So yes, like I said earlier, yes, I train young people for 8,000 people every quarter, and I train them for free, and I give them mentorship for 3 years. ensure their companies are established and tell them what to do. So I think my real question is not, can you mentor people? The real question is, are people willing to be mentored? Because there are lots of people who believe they know where to go, and they are just looking for somebody to rubber stamp what they've decided they want to do.
Mm.
Mr. Peter, please, you're muted, sir.
In soilless farming, where one uses other grain media, where one uses other grain media like cocoa peats, peritites, and maybe rice hulks, what kind of fertilizer can I use? Can I use the normal NPK?
The answer is still no. Once it is soilless, you cannot use you can always use the soluble fertilizers to get the results.
Okay, we can use soluble fertilizer to get our results. And one last question, we may not be able to take all the questions. I want to advise that just continue to type in your questions. At appropriate time, the organizers will find time to respond to every one of us. But one last question so that you don't go with this impression. Farmer Lawrence, we need you to expatiate further on losing 200K. You said if I have 200K, I should be prepared to lose it if as a startup. We need you to expatiate further so that we don't go with an impression that we lose our money in vegetable business.
Okay, so and I'm sorry I was very mean with my response. If you're asking a question of what agricultural, what vegetable you can produce with some 200,000 naira, to me, it simply means that you are a newcomer. And if you're a newcomer, one of the things that you should be spending the 200,000 naira on is learning. It should be to travel to different farms around you to first observe how things are being done, and then you can now answer the question properly on how to put your 200,000 naira to best use. And for me, like I said initially, whatever farm you're growing must have the component of irrigation. So if you don't have a component of irrigation, climate change will deal with you. And irrigation is not the only way for which you're going to even mitigate climate change. There are other factors, right? But the entry point for at least dealing with climate change is a proper irrigation setup on your farm. So, and like I said, the best way to put that 200,000 into use so that you do not completely lose out and you learn as you go is to start a home garden wherever it is you're living. Just make sure you put the 200,000 to use in your in a place where you're able to observe, you're able to learn, you're able to ask questions from various people who are doing what you're looking to do. But by and large, if it's your first time, your learnings are going to be original to you, and there's no need to sugarcoat it. If you've not had an experience, if you've not done it before, you will lose your money. You will, and that's the truth, right? You may get lucky, but again, like Samson said, and like I always advise, start small and scale from there. Fail small, don't fail big. So failing with 200,000 naira is still something that is still within grasp. Right. But the best way to learn in this space, the best way to learn without losing so much money is to find a mentor, find somebody who's a veteran doing what you want to do and go and practice on their farmland. Fail using their resources, not your resources. And that's what I have to say. I'm not sugarcoating this. You will lose money. Thank you. Your microphone is muted.
We need to seek for knowledge. We need to identify the market. We need to have a discussion with the market. The market should decide whether we go into spinach. The market should decide whether we go into tomato, to pepper, and some other options in the value chain. We'd like to say a very big thank you to Farmer Samson Ogbole and Farmer Mayowa Lawrence. It's been wonderful listening to you from your wealth of experience. We could see how you started very small, and we are glad to identify with you today. You are role models in the business of agriculture in Nigeria. A good number of youths are willing to offer themselves as mentees under you. One good success story for farmer Samson Ogbole is the fact that you pass through a mentoring process. And because agriculture, people often say it is a risky business, there is need to also submit ourselves, irrespective of the age bracket, for mentorship program so that we are able to learn practically before we can begin to put in our money for investment. We'd like to appreciate you. We are grateful for sparing your time, for interacting with us. And we also understand that you are available for training of our youth, training of adults as time will demand from you. We are glad with what you are doing in the sector. We also want to use this opportunity to appreciate the anchor of this program, that is the PSAG. We want to appreciate the New Nigeria Foundation. We want to appreciate all other anchor of this program for deeming it fit for our youth to have an opportunity in the agricultural value chain, for creating a space. This is part of creating space for our youth in the agricultural value chain. We now have a space through learning. And the one thing that spoke for the two presenters today is knowledge. Farmer Samson Ogbole emphasized on the issue of seeking for knowledge. Also, Farmer Mayo also emphasized on the need for seeking for knowledge. We cannot give what we don't have. There is need to seek for knowledge. In other words, this platform may not be sufficient for us to build a sufficient capacity in the business of vegetable agribusiness. There may be need for constant engagement with our panelists for today, and also with the organizers of this program, which is the New Nigeria Foundation. And also we'd like to appreciate, like I said earlier on, the Cluster 5, that is a PSAG, that is United Nations Private Sector Advisory Service Group, that has deemed it fit to also give us a platform to interact with our youth. On this note, we'd like to say a very big thank you to all our participants on the Facebook handle, our participants on the YouTube handle. We have taken note of your comments and questions. A poll is also going on now. We have sent a link for you to also express your comments, your feedback on the sessions for today. We will not take those comments for granted. We will need to work more on it, and also, if need be, create an expanded session to go deeper in the business of vegetable farming. We'd like to also appreciate our platform on the Zoom link that are with us here. We appreciate you for your comment, for your participation, and your time you have taken with us on this outreach. We will go on break now, but then it is important for us to note that we have another session for today. We have a session on innovate and cultivate tech opportunities in agriculture, coming up by 2. So I'd like to say we should stay tuned till 2 p.m. while we take a menu from this very rich presentation. Like we said, these are value chains. You cannot, if you want to pick an opportunity, employment opportunity, the agricultural value chain, we'd like to counsel that you pick, you study all these value chains as they flow. We have started from production today. That is the business of vegetable. We also need to look at what technology will do for us in the business of vegetable production. So I'd like to encourage that participants that attended this session should also make themselves available for the last session of today, looking at innovate and cultivate tech opportunities in the business of agriculture. Thank you very much. I remain myself, Peter Oluwatoki Popola, from the Agricultural and Rural Management Training Institute, AMTI, Nigeria.
Thank you so much, Mr. Peter Popola. We really appreciate that session. It's been a great time. Quickly, the poll says, so we have a poll And 63% on Zoom say I'm more eager or more confident to start my vegetable farm. Some 39% said I will consider hydroponics for my vegetable farming. And then 29 say I will consider vegetable farming using soil. So I think we've tried to do a comparison between both methods today. The poll is still ongoing, I can see. And then 58% say I still need to do some more research. So I'm not just going to jump into it. I need to do some more research. And then 2% say I'm undecided. I think it's been an interesting session, trying to also compare, the vegetable farming with soil and vegetable farming with hydroponics, the hydroponics method. We would like to thank again Samson Obole, farmer Samson Obole. We couldn't see your video, we must say. I know you were trying to show us, your video. You wanted us to see the demonstration, but let me say that if we can go on YouTube, that's for participants. If we can go on YouTube, farmer Samson has lots of videos, interviewed, so I'm sure we'll be able to get an idea of how the Soilless Farm Lab is. We can reach them on their LinkedIn profiles. So just Google their names on LinkedIn and you'll be able to reach them, because we've had a number of people ask questions that how do we get in touch with you? So please, you can reach out to them on their LinkedIn profiles. So thank you everyone for joining. We'd also like to thank Mr. Peter Popola for anchoring this session. To everyone that has stayed on, we appreciate you. Our next and last session for today is on innovate and cultivate, tech opportunities in agriculture. Farmer Samson said something, about technology, applying technology in the world of agriculture. There's this saying I used to, hear some years ago, innovate or die. I don't know if it's still a trendy statement now, but it's like in this changing world, especially in the post-COVID world, we have to just, run with the changes and also seek problem-solving ways, how to, catch up, how to seek solutions to problems that we're facing daily and in all do. And the agricultural sector is certainly not left out. So please join us at 2 p.m. I guess it's lunchtime for some. Join us at 2 p.m. and we'll be back with Mr. Femi Adekoya, who is popularly known as the Flying Farmer. Thank you to our panelists and thank you to everyone for joining. See you at 2. Share the links. They remain valid all through the 3 days of the masterclass. Enjoy your lunch and hopefully send me some on YouTube or Zoom. All right, thank you. Take care.
We've got everything it takes to make it here. There's much more within our soil, more than just our oil. We can grow the food to feed the whole world square. Agriculture is the key. There's treasure in the trees. The time is now, the land is green, wealth is here. This is our nation, this is our land. Nigeria is ours, we have everything we need. If we could only see, the time is now, the land is green, the world is here. There are 200 dreams, and it's able to begin us back and change the world. I see innovation everywhere, from my back to it. God, do now, the land is green, the world is. Yeah, this is our nation, this is our land. It's ours, we have everything. The time is now, the land is green, the world is here. If you take a look around, from the north to south, there are opportunities to make it. Yeah. dream is to go overseas. Tell me how you'll ever know the royalties here. Oh, this is our nation, this is our land. Nigeria, we have everything we need. See, the time is now. Some on the top to you. Nigeria is ours. We have everything we need. If we could only see the time is now. So this is our nation, this is our Nigeria is ours, we have everything. We could only see the time is down, the land is green, wealth is here. There's a story to be told, a future to behold. There is more to who we are than what they see. We have love within our soul, fire in our bones. We've got everything it takes to make it here. There's much more within our soil, more than just our oil. We can grow the food to feed the whole world square. Agriculture is the key. There's treasure in the trees. The time is now. The land is green. Wealth is here. This is our nation. This is our land. Nigeria is ours. We have everything we need. If we could only see, the time is now. The land is green. Wealth is here. There are 200 million dreams. Anyone is able to begin us back and change the world. I see innovation everywhere. From Mama to Ife, Kaduna, the land is great, the world is. Yeah, this is our nation, this is our land. Nigeria is ours. We have everything we need. Now the land is where the world is. If you take a look around, from the north to south, there are opportunities to make it clear. All you ever dream is to go overseas. Tell me how you'll ever know the royalties here. Oh, this is our nation, this is our land. Nigeria, we have everything we need. See, the time is now, the land is green.